Now, children, I hope you are ready with your maps. So, today we will be marking mountains on the map and keep the brown color pencils with you. I would suggest that you do the labeling with pencil first and then only you finalize or make a final map of it. So, beginning with the uh, map of India, in which we will be doing the mountains, plateaus, and plains. Okay, so now coming to the map, here we have the Karakoram range marked. So you use your pencils and mark from here and touch the boundary of India, this side in Kashmir, and write Karakoram range. Write it in capital letters only. I'm waiting. First you mark it with pencil and then write this with blue color. Blue pen you can write. This one is simple, but when we come to the Himalayas, that will be slightly difficult, but then I know that you will manage. So Karakoram range marked. Then we mark the Himalayas. Now Himalayas, see, all the rivers of North India, they originate or they come out from the Himalayas only. They have their mouths in Himalayas. So, sorry, they have their sources in Himalayas. Mouth will be here where they end. So, sources of the rivers are in Himalayas. So, therefore, you will see that I have marked the Himalayas in broken lines. That means it is not crossing any river. The rivers, wherever the rivers are present, they will be forming valleys. So, from Jhelum River, from the mouth till here, you mark one line with your pencil first. Then come to Ganga and Yamuna River. You mark two dash lines over here. Then come in this part, the Ghagra River. Then this river. Again, you mark it from the tip of the river. Then come till Sikkim. I'm leaving Bhutan. And then come till Brahmaputra River. So one line, this is the higher mountains or the Himadris. From here it is starting from Kashmir, Jhelum River. Then it comes down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 dash lines I have made. So do it with pencil. Then come to the second line. The second Himalayans, which you will, whenever Himalayas have been asked to mark, you will mark all these broken both the lines. Now here one dash. So in between the rivers, just see I have marked the mountain ranges till Bhutan only. The second line is till Bhutan, all between the rivers. You mark it and then write Himalayas. Please write it in capital letters only. Then below that we come to the Aravallis. Now Aravalli mountains are slightly difficult because this angle which it makes with the plane, it is not, it is about 50 degrees, right? So the first point, it starts from here, you will put your scale and from here above this Gulf of Kutch and from this point. So these two are the merging points from where Aravali will start to be marked, and then you mark it slanting, and this is the point here, this one from here till here you will mark slantingly, making an angle of about 50 degrees. So this again you do it with pencil first and then only use colors and write Aravali. Just see that from this point and from this point it should be merging at these 2 points, and here. From this side also, from the confluence of uh, the Chambal as well as the Yamuna river, you can put your scale here and straight till here you can mark. So this is also a point which can be taken as a help to mark the Aravalis. So Aravali is also marked. I think Karakoram range, Himalayas and Aravalis are marked. Then we come to the Vindhya range. Now Vindhyan range, it also two mountains arise from here, that is Chambal and Betwa. So I have marked it from the tips of these rivers. It is not touching the coast, from slightly away from the coast till here to here. I think this is clear. It does not need any explanation. You will be able to mark the Vindhyan range. Then we come to the Satpura range. Again, it is between river Narmada and Tapi. So draw a line and write Satpura range, Vindhyas and Satpuras. Then two more important mountain ranges are there. You have done the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats in the previous chapter, and you have learned that in the difference, the Western Ghats are continuous mountain range and Eastern Ghats are the broken mountain range. They are between, the distance between Arabian Sea and Western Ghat is not much, whereas the distance between the Bay of Bengal and the Eastern Ghat is wider. This you have done in difference. So likewise, you will mark it here also. One thing again you will notice that it is again joining the tips of the river. So here Godavari river is there, but it is not joining the Godavari river, slightly away from Godavari river. You mark with pencil down, you touch river Krishna, then Tungabhadra as well as river Kaveri, and till this point, this turn of the river, till this point you will mark the Western Ghats. It is very clearly marked also, so you mark these two Western Ghats. So it is touching river Krishna, Tungabhadra and river Kaveri, and here this point. Write Western Ghats in capital letters. Then we come to the Eastern Ghat. Eastern Ghat, see, it starts from this turn. Slightly away from this turn, I have started to mark till this curve. In the center of this curve, till there, starting from this point, leave this space, and from here to here, it is marked as Eastern Ghats. Then the deltaic region is left of Krishna and Godavari, and then from away from Godavari river and below Mahanadi river. In between them, this line parallel to the coast almost. It is the other part of Eastern Ghat is marked, and write Eastern Ghats. I hope children you have done marked it properly. I will send a still map also of this, which will help you further to mark it. But today we have marked Karakoram Range, Himalayas, Aravalli Mountains, Vindhyas, Satpura, Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Here Garo Khasi and Jaintia Hills and Nilgiri Hills are left, which I'll do it in the next class. Now children, we will be marking the other two mountain ranges or hills which are present, one in South India, Nilgiri Hills, which is very easy to mark. Like over here, this is the curve of river Kaveri, and this curve only in between in the center you will mark Nilgiris. Very small, not a very long line. Slightly more than a dot, like a dash line, you will mark Nilgiri range. Three very important ranges are there for which are responsible for bringing rainfall in the entire northeastern region. So here three dashes are there with brown color. You can mark, or with pencil if you are marking right now. So 1, 2, 3 parallel to the boundary of India. This is Bangladesh. So here parallel to Assam, here boundary 1, 2, 3. Don't go ahead, very little, about 1 mm distance between the boundary and the ranges. So this 1, 2, 3 you will mark and write number 1 Garo Hills, number 2 Khasi Hills, and number 3 Jaintia Hills. Mark it children, so your mountains will be complete with Himalayas, Karakoram. This one is not having Karakoram, but the previous map had Aravalli, Vindhyas, Satpuras, Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, and Nilgiri Hills. You must have marked it by now. And then you have the Garo, Khasi, and Jaintia hills. Don't write hills, Garo, Khasi, and Jaintia only is enough. So in one map, I would suggest you to mark only the mountains. Then in the next class, when we will be marking plateaus and plains, so that can be done in another map for your convenience and easy to learn. I hope children you have marked all the mountains.